What's good, Fragrance Connoisseurs? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Charm City, your host. We are going to talk about the premiere of Sacred Flame. I went to the premiere at the Scent Room in Dallas, and we're going to go through some of the things in the premiere. First, we're going to have Christian Petrovich, the owner and perfumer, talk about Sacred Flame, talk about some things about his brand and the company, and then I will come back and give you my personal full review. I've worn this out 3 times now, so we will talk about my personal review, full review of Argos Sacred Flame. So sit back, stay tuned for station identification, and we'll get with the premiere, talking exclusively from Christian Petrovich, and then my experience with Sacred Flame. All right, stay tuned. All right, fragrance connoisseurs, we are going to the Scent Room in Dallas, Texas, where there was the premiere of Sacred Flame with Christian Petrovich. So you're going to hear a lot of things about the Argos fragrances and also some exclusives. Like in February, he's releasing a warm weather fragrance, the first warm weather fragrance from the brand. But you're also going to hear about Sharon's Veil and a Polonaise, two new fragrances that are going to be released shortly. So here we go. We're going to go into Christian Petrovich talking at the Scent Room.
Square feet in France, in Nice. We got 2,000 square feet in Lucens, and we're about to do 8,000 square feet in Istanbul. So
Your timing was perfect, wasn't it?
yes, it
Your
was.
timing was perfect, yeah.
It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a scary time because that was right before COVID. I invested a lot of money. I think you understood the vision, of course. You met with me personally before you decided to carry the brand. So obviously that meeting went well.
Yeah.
But the brand, it was never meant to be minimalistic. It was not going to be one of these cookie cutters. It wasn't going to be a white label. This was meant to be pure luxury. This was a celebration of fragrance, a celebration of art. In fact, I was sitting right there when I said, I'm going to release the artist series. I love art history. I love Greek mythology. Why not? And I love fragrance. Why not marry all that together? And when you're that passionate about things, and you could put everything together into one. They always say you're never going to work a day in your life. I work every day and every night in my life. I still love what I do. And I'm still very involved in everything, not just making the fragrances itself, but putting the atomizers on, the crystals, working on the enameling, the artwork, the 3D artwork. It's a lot of work, and it's definitely a passion of mine, and definitely a passion project. Today we're here, though, and I can talk for hours. So I'm going to try to keep it focused. Today we're here for the celebration and the launch of Sacred Flame. Now, it's supposed to get cold out. At least that's what they said. It's the first day of autumn was yesterday or something like that. But Argos is bringing the heat. We got Sacred Flame. It's been doing phenomenal. This was a fragrance that was supposed to be bold. This was a fragrance that was not linear. This was supposed to be Prometheus, the trickster god, the god that stole the sacred flame from Zeus. So someone that audacious needed a fragrance, and here we have Sacred Flame. The trick with this one was to not make it fiery, like ashy, or too over the top with that. I wanted something that was more smoldering, something that was like a glowing ember. So the fruits that are put in here, the apoponax, the orris, the sandalwood, the cashmere, the cedar bark. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into this fragrance. It's definitely not linear. It's definitely not like anything else out there right now. And I guarantee if you smell it on 2 or 3 people, it's not going to smell the same on them. And that's what the true artistry is with fragrance now. I don't want to do anything that's cookie cutter. I don't want to put out flankers. I want to keep you all interested and passionate about this hobby for you, or if you're, a lot of you are fragrance connoisseurs, and I love that. You're all my people. So, when fall rolls around, Argos is going to be bringing it every year. I love heavy wares. I love heavy, thick fragrances. Now, that being said, this February, on the 14th Valentine's Day, I'm gonna release my first summertime fragrance. There'll be a masculine one and a feminine one. So that'll be the first, but it'll be in the Argos style. And I was telling Cordell, like when I got into this professionally and I decided to release the brand, I took a break from smelling any other fragrances out there for 5 years. And that was really for me to focus on the DNA, the personality, and really what Argos was. So when people smell an Argos fragrance and you smell another Argos fragrance, unless that person is wearing Argos, you're the best smelling person in the room. So
Yes.
that's the truth. So I'm glad that Deborah hosted this event tonight for me. I don't get into Dallas too often. I'm also in Istanbul and I'm in France. I'm all over the place, but it's nice to have a little intimate setting. I know we've done events before where we've had people outside, but this was nice. I think I talked to most people one-on-one. If I haven't, I'm still gonna be here till 8. So catch me if you haven't. Ask me questions. Whatever you want, I'm here. I'm here for you.
I do want to add, because I was gonna say also with Christian's line, just a little, with the scent room, it's been amazing. And I feel like Trapper Bacchus, like continuously, we have collectors come in and they say like, I have hundreds of bottles and Trapper Bacchus is in my top 5. So I feel like what he's done is really amazing. And I feel like Argos, you can always count, like if somebody's like, I want something very different and very unique, like I feel like these, I can't, if people are like, I want something kind of like this, it's like hard for us girls to be like, okay, there's not anything like these scents, like they're just truly one of their own.
It
So, yeah.
might be hard to describe some of my fragrances, and that's fine. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of ingredients, and like I was telling someone today, the Oris, $50,000 a kilo. Some of the rose I use, most rare, expensive stuff in the world. But the blending, the time that we take, we don't make this and put it in the bottle the next day. We take the time, we blend the oils, we let them mature. I gotta say it's right. Master. No, I was in France. That guy totally butchered it. I feel bad for him, but macerate and mature. So there's different stages to this. It's a long process before it actually gets into the bottle and packaged and into your hands. So I'm not going to change any of that. We've had offers for people to buy the company. This is a legacy company as far as I'm concerned. I hope my son takes it over one day. We'll see. But I love what I do. I'm going to continue to do this. So next year we've already got 5 slated. And who knows after that? We might do 6 or 7.
One of the best sprayers like on the market. Look at that.
Proprietary atomizer. That's my
You just told me on the atomizer thing. I did not know.
I spent 30 minutes telling him.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Totally smooth. I did not know.
I feel like you are one of the, I feel like of the fragrance lines that we carry, I feel like yours has one of the most, like, if not the most attention to details. And I feel like it's really cool to see that your brand has expanded so much, but also you have very much a hand in everything and all of the artwork and stuff that's very much
Yeah.
still
Hand painted.
yeah.
This is put on by hand. The back plate is not just stamped, so you see like all the ugliness behind. You see nothing, but just it's beautiful.
It is.
You know, and the little sprayer thing here, it goes away. It's invisible.
Crystal did too.
So I mean, everything about it is like all the
And
detail.
we're always
Yeah.
trying to improve the product so that you all enjoy the most luxurious, have the best experience, even from the gift wrapping that we did. It's a full encompassing thing. We want to, have all of your senses enticed. And we want you to be able to give this confidently as a gift for a wedding, birthday, whatever you have, and just be, it's Argos. It's going to be quality. I have no question.
Even the little bottles are an exact duplicate of the big ones, which is
We
insane.
didn't skimp.
That's insane.
We could have put a sticker on that,
Yeah.
but we didn't.
Yeah. So it's an amazing brand. We love it. It does really well here, and
It does.
we just love it.
I also think, because did you say that you did tell me once, and I mean, it's like that you were an art history major originally,
Mine.
mine is something. But that also kind of influences like the boxes and the artwork and stuff like that.
So some of you are new to the brand. Everything's based on Greek and Roman mythology. So it's either based on a god or a goddess or a particular story. So like Perdita della Calce The thrill of the chase, the double entendre, it means the man pursuing the woman, the thrill of the chase. And it's the hunter going through the woods, happens upon Artemis, she's bathing, and she becomes infuriated that a mortal has seen her naked. So she turns him into a stag, the very thing that he was hunting, and his hound dogs rip him apart. So the stories aren't always nice, but I want to immerse you into that story, so that's why that fragrance is very green, it's very herbaceous, it has the Mate Absolute, it has the juniper berry for the shark, it has that leather for the stag, for the deer that he's, eventually torn apart as. But it's a challenge for me, it's fun, and it's an all immersive experience when you have an Argos fragrance. So it's very cool, it's very fun for me to make these fragrances as well. Oh, and we will touch on one other thing. Before you leave, make sure you get a sample of the newest fragrances that aren't even out yet. So we've got Charon's Veil, which will be my first Halloween release. So if you don't know, Charon is the ferryman of the dead, so you'd have to pay him to get to the underworld. If you couldn't afford it or you didn't do it, you stayed there for all eternity. So that one's kind of a fruity, powdery fragrance. I won't get into too much on that one. That'll be available October 31st. And then we have a Polonaise, and that just basically means Apollo-like. And if you don't know, Apollo is the sun god, so this is a very bright fragrance, but it's heavier in the Argos style. So it's musky, it's ambery, almost like that glow too, and a little bit powdery. Beautiful fragrance. These are both going to be an extrait de parfum concentration only, and I think, I'm saying this now, I hope I don't change this later, but I think I'm going to only be releasing extrait formulations from here on out. So no more EDP. I never did EDT. I don't know what that is. But we're doing extrait. I love the depth. I love the rest. It's a different scent profile. And if you've been able to experience Triumph of Bacchus EDP next to the ED or the extrait, you'll notice there's subtle nuances. You'll get some of the tobacco. You'll get some of the woody nuances. It's not a different fragrance by any means, but I love the higher concentration of oil and what that does to the fragrance and how it wears. So, with that being said, the TOB extrait will be available this fall here. That'll be available in the 30 ml for the first time. Nemean Line is here tonight, and that is part of the 12 Labors of Hercules series. And that's pretty much my chance to be a little bit more nuanced, a little bit more exploratory in the fragrances that I release, a little bit more Middle Eastern, a little more ouds. These are ones it's for, and I put it on the website. Full disclaimer: 21 and up. Experience knows it's only. I did put it on there. So, and I love that. I love everything about fragrances, and I love the nuances and the darkness and the depth of that fragrance. So that will be back. Nemean Line will be back, and that'll be available here too in November. The extrait, like I said, the TOB 30 ml. Polonaise will be here. Charon's Veil will be here. Sacred Flame will be here. So it's a big fall
Nice.
for Argos. And then we'll parlay that right into Valentine's Day.
Christian, can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
So all of your fragrances, there's a direct correlation between the story and the notes, as well as the opening, the heart, in the base.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through Sacred Flame and kind of the notes to the relationship with the story?
Okay. Well, Sacred Flame, that's easy. I pretty much wanted to embody Prometheus, trickster titan god that stole fire from Zeus. So this was a fragrance that I knew right off the bat it couldn't be, linear. This was something that was going to have to change, something that was going to embody that snake-like trickster god of Prometheus. He's also the god of fire, the god of forethought. So for this one to tie it into the story, I needed something that was like a glowing flame. I didn't want something that was smoky with birch or anything that was ashy. So the trick for this one was, how do I do that and obtain a glowing quality to this fragrance? Well, you can do that with cinnamon bar, with the amber, with the pomegranate, with the orris butter, with the sandalwood, and just blend it all really smooth. And you can have that spicy heat and that glow without the ashiness. So there's your short answer.
Wow. So, and you became a nose kind of just by trial and error, just by,
Well, it was a lot of trial and error, but I did go to New York for 2 years and I got private lessons. Yes.
because so many people think that they're going to make their own perfume lines these days.
Well, a lot of people,
It's super.
I made private
It's
label
super.
bespoke fragrances for a couple of years before I launched my brand public.
Did you say that you go by, you worked under, you met him through originally when you did model or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
From Morocco, yeah. So the first fragrances I ever made for somebody was a Greek, almost, I think he's probably a billionaire now, but that was the perfect time for me to tie in all my Greek knowledge. And I love that.
Last people you made for till 2018, I told them no more.
Well, that I fixed somebody's fragrance, and that's the last time I'm gonna do that. No more private label. I have such a deep connection with these fragrances that I make. I can't see myself making anything for anybody else. Why would I? I can't give the good stuff away. It's top shelf.
Then we wouldn't get 5.
Any more questions? You curious about?
Yes, within the next few months, it'll be 5. Yeah. So don't forget to get your sample of Charon's Veil, the Halloween release, and the Polonaise before you leave.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, fragrance connoisseurs, we're back, and I'm going to give you my interpretation of Sacred Flame. You've already heard the premiere. You've heard some words from Christian Petrovich, the owner and perfumer for Argos Fragrances. It was such a great experience to meet him in person and to hear some things about the brand, what he's been into, and what his thoughts were about this fragrance, and also a little bit about the 2 new fragrances that are coming on October 31st and the other one coming a little bit later than that. So I wanted to get into the actual box. This is the outside box. This is the box that comes inside of it, like so, that holds the fragrance. So I did not have it inside the box. It had a signature on it, but I believe it's dry now. But that's the reason why I took it out of the box. So it has the basic, not basic, I guess. It actually has a very nice painting. I think that's part of some of the greatness of Argos Fragrances. The artwork is spectacular. The attention to detail, the quality that's put in is second to none. And you really have to want to collect the bottles just for the artwork and everything in itself. The boxes are really nice. So this box has the Sacred Flame on the front. It has the extenuation of the picture that goes on the side, and then on the back it's got the information about the ingredients and the warnings, and also just more about the company, the address and everything like that. Barcode is right down there as well, and there you have it. We also did get a decant sample, which also has the artwork on the front of that. However, I liked it so much that I ended up getting the actual bottle, but we did get a decant of Sacred Flame. We also got a decant of the 2 releases that haven't come out yet, of a Polonaise, and then also Charon's Veil. So here you have it, autographed. So that's great. And this is an orange, I guess it's a leathery type, but it is not actual leather. But on the front, it actually has the Argos insignia on it and name. It's got Sacred Flame signature. Nothing on the sides, nothing on top, bottom. Then it opens like this, and there you have the actual Sacred Flame. So on the inside, it does have some information about Sacred Flame, and it has the notes that are listed right here. Also, the same thing is listed on the actual decant sample. So we take it out, we take the bottle out, pause, and we now look at, this is spectacular. Basically, this is just for itself, it is worth the price of admission. The bottle is exquisite. It is a very heavy glass or crystal, not exactly sure, but the actual, then the plaque is hand painted, and that is really, really nice. Of course, at the top, It's got the Argos insignia with a little jewel right there. And Argos is written right underneath. So we will get into actual spray so you can see the atomizers are a proprietary atomizer from Christian Petrovich himself. He actually did get a patent for this atomizer. So you can take a look at it. It is pressurized, but the interesting thing is a lot of pressurized atomizers have like a funnel spray where it goes out. This one actually goes, I don't know how he does that, but it goes out a certain way and then it curls up to give more of distribution, which is really interesting, really interesting. So this was an incredible fragrance, and this was actually one that I decided I had to get the same day. It was between this one and Fall of Phaeton, but I believe since this was the Sacred Flames night, and I liked them both equally, that I got the Sacred Flame. So many fragrances, so little time, so little money. Might be another question, but I think this retailed for about $290. So just to give you that. But now giving you straight from the opening, the initial spray, the first things that you get are you get a real nice brightness that is from pepper, and you get a spiciness that is from clove. I like the bright opening. It's really nice. And right with that, you also get, to me, the first thing that I get are the fruit accords. And the main thing that I get is peach in the beginning, mixed with a blend of citruses. Now, at the time, I could not pick out citruses, but I do know it's grapefruit. I do know it's bergamot. So I do know now that I looked at the notes what they are, but the peach is very prominent, and the grape, and then it's mixed with citruses, which ends up being grapefruit and bergamot. We'll go through all the notes and give you that information shortly. But then after you have that, you start to get some rose and florals, which I found out is jasmine. And the jasmine is prominent, so you can tell that you get a nice blend of rose and the jasmine. Jasmine is usually very pronounced, and it's a very interesting floral in and of itself. And that blends in to kind of take some of the sharpness from the spiciness of the pepper and the clove. So this is a masterful blend, and actually it's a blend of 22 notes. So they come together very nicely. It's blended so well and it's well crafted that sometimes it's hard to pick the individual notes, and that's why I'm giving you some of the main things that come out to me. So I talk about the rose, I talk about the jasmine, and then there's some incense that is coming up. And what Christian Petrovich said is that he wanted it not to be overly smoky. He wanted it to be like a smoldering effect. And to me, it gives kind of that effect in it. And it gives to me the effect of when you see a log burning and you see it like bright orange, and you know that it's embers and that it's bright orange because it is burning on the inside, but you don't see the flame on the outside. That's what I get when I smell this. So I really think that Christian did a great job in giving that incense and that smoldering type nature, but not making it an overly smoky fragrance. So this would not be a fragrance that you would think of as smoke intense, like by the fireplace or something like this. It is an accompanying smoke that's in the background that is done really, really nicely. And that smokiness, once it goes a little deep in the dry down, gets a little sweet and resinous. So there is a benzoin that is in there that gives you kind of that resinous vanilla. It's also mixed with vanilla as a base note and mixed with a Papanax. And then there are some woods of vetiver and sandalwood, and then a warmness that comes from amber. I really think that this fragrance is transportive. It tries to recreate for you that mythos or that myth, the mythology of Prometheus, and bringing down the sacred flame. I think it's done really well. And congratulations to Christian for bringing this out. This is one of the fragrances that I had to get out of the collection, and I'm really glad that I did. And so I wanted to bring this to everybody's attention, and we'll go into the notes because I think it's worth getting your nose on. So the top notes are actually bergamot, peach, tangerine, ginger, cloves, grapefruit, and pepper tree. So the ginger is in there. I guess what I picked out and came to my nose at first was definitely the pepper and the cloves, but there you have it in the heart. You have rose, tuberose, cinnamon, bark, violet, jasmine, orris, and patchouli. So there is now, and I can say that there is a stately, elegant powderiness to it, but it's not the Dior Homme type makeup bag powder. It's like a soft powder in the background. The blend is absolutely spectacular. It is really nice. And then in the base, you're gonna get amber, sandalwood, benzoin, apopanox, tonka bean, vetiver, cashmere, and vanilla. It is a wonderful fragrance. I believe it's definitely worth getting a sample. I did get a sample. As you can see, I only sprayed it a couple times before I ended up buying it. I think it's well worth the price of admission. So there you have it. I do have a Polonaise, and I do also have a Charon's Veil. I have given on the Scents of the Day, kind of like my basic first impressions of it. Hopefully I'll do more of a full review on those as I did a full review on Sacred Flame. So there you have Sacred Flame. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the insight to the premiere with Christian Petrovich at the Scent Room in Dallas. Shout out to Christian Petrovich and Argos Fragrances. Shout out to the Scent Room. They allowed me to come there and do some videotaping so that I could bring that part of it to you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everyone who is watching the video. I appreciate the subscribers that return and that you're here watching another video. It is humbling. I appreciate your support and the love that you give the channel. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care. God bless.
Can I sniff it? To all the people who like frags like Charm City does. Made this track so you really know what live was. Come together over fragrances.